Hi, this is Carrie, Christ-centered counselor and life coach with Promise Coaching. I swear if you guys saw what I went through trying to set my camera up, making these videos, I think you would probably laugh hysterically at me because I just don't have the greatest places to set things up right now because we live in an apartment and that's all we can afford out here in California because it is insanely expensive, especially where we live in Orange County. We're gonna have a house soon, so I'm looking forward to moving and I'll have like an office and everything set up nicely to make these videos for you guys, just with like a better ambiance and more comfortability for me rather than trying to find spaces with a decent or calming background that's not too noisy. So right now, our home is in disarray with boxes and things everywhere. And it always reminds me of what my life was like when I was living with a narcissist. Like whenever you went through difficult times, like whether it be health issues or moving or holidays or any kind of like life events, how much more stressful and chaotic it was being with a narcissist. I will never forget that. And that's why I make these videos. That's why I share this content with you guys, because I've been there and I know exactly what it's like. So today I want to talk to you guys about things that narcissists do behind the scenes that you might not be aware of. And I know I wasn't aware of, because the narcissist is always telling you what you want to hear. Like they're always promising you things, doing the future faking, telling you how things are going to be different, and their fake apologies and whatnot. And then their actions repeatedly show you the opposite, right? So we know that to be true about narcissists, but they're so busy with distracting us from the truth and with what's really going on behind the scenes, behind our backs, that we don't see that part. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to kind of relate it to my past experience with my ex-husband narcissist. When I was married to my ex-narcissist, I remember him often doing things that were not beneficial for our future. So he would constantly not consult me about major decisions like where we were going to live or where he was going to live during our separation. Things that your spouse should be a part of, he would purposely make sure that I wasn't. And anything that I was made a part of, he would sabotage, so therefore he could just go ahead and make his own decisions anyway, without considering me, without the benefit of our future as a married couple and as a family. And they will often blame you. I remember him blaming me for doing this, though he was doing it. So that's just another form of projection, right? We know they do this all the time, project what they're doing onto others because they don't really want to take accountability for the fact that they're doing it. So that was something that he would do, is he would make these major decisions without considering the future of our family. And I didn't see it at the time. And that's why I'm making this video, because we're so blinded by what they're doing in the moment. We're thinking that they're making these decisions for the greater benefit of us. We're thinking, because that's what they're saying, and they're making excuses and giving us all of these stories about how they're making it beneficial for us. But the truth is, it's not. And when you really think about the logistics of it, you're going, wow, that just doesn't really make sense or add up, or I'm not going to be able to work from that place, or I'm not going to be able to commute with my kids, or financially we're not going to be able to afford this long term, or whatever it is. You are being realistic and logical in the way that you're thinking, but he wants to convince you that you're not. And I'm speaking to women in this video. My channel is female-based. So if you're a man, I understand this happens to you too. This happened to my own husband, so he's been there as well. But I'm primarily speaking to women, so I'm going to use he in my story in this. So that is what they do, right? So I remember my ex getting this house, and he put all of our wedding pictures in there, all these pictures of us. He made it look like it was for us, like he went out of his way to do all of these things, and he would always act like things that actually didn't take a whole lot of time and effort, he acted like they did, so that way basically he could be worshipped for all of this so-called time and effort he was putting into things that really didn't require that much time and effort, as much as he said. Like, I remember people telling me, like, Carrie, it takes literally a phone call or an hour to go have like a picture printed and picked up somewhere and like framed, you know? So I know that my ex did the extra details on things that did take a little extra time here and there. But the way that he would make it sound is as if he is like breaking his back to do these things for me. And it's just BS. It's just nonsense. So I have such an incredible husband who he would do absolutely anything for me, anything that I needed, anything that I want that is within our means, he would go out of his way to do for me. And he doesn't act like it's killing him, you know? And so that's the difference between a narcissist and a healthy individual, is especially a man. An emotionally, spiritually healthy man gives you the sense that he can carry the weight. He does not act like you are breaking him to do something good for you or beneficial for you, or to go out of their way to help you or to make you feel good. An emotionally immature, unhealthy person is going to make it sound like it's burdensome to them, like that you are being the burden to put this on them to do something kind or beneficial for you. And that is not right. That is not the way that God has commanded a husband to treat his wife. And I just remember my ex-husband doing that to me all the time. So I remember he put all of these pictures up of us and basically acted like I had been living there, even though we had been separated. It was like I lived there, even though I didn't. And we hadn't gotten back together yet. But the location of the home, how this was going to work long-term, functionally with my 3 children, we did not fit into that home together. He still had 2 kids living at home. He got a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom home. And what he was really doing, when I look back on it, is he was setting his life up to have a way out, to have a plan B without me. And so I think that's something that women typically don't tend to realize. And when we are being manipulated and love bombed by this person, we're thinking he has our best interest at heart, when really, if he's truly narcissistic, he does not. And he is planning an escape route. And someone who is truly committed to making your marriage work, committed to loving you sacrificially the way that Christ loved the church, is not going to be thinking that way. But a narcissistic person is always thinking that way. They're always thinking about what is going to be their exit plan and then accuse you of having an exit plan, and then also blame you for their exit plan. So no matter what, you are always going to be blamed and at fault for them thinking and acting this way. But narcissistic people in almost every case scenario do this. They have this exit strategy that they are planning out, actually, so that way when they sabotage the relationship, they sabotage the marriage, they can move on easier and more quickly, and usually more quickly to their next victim. And I know women who will do this, purposely sabotage the marriage and plan their exit and set it up to where they are taking complete advantage, like stashing money without their husband knowing and things like that. Both men and women do this kind of thing, and even will rack up credit card debt and all kinds of debt to try and trap that person, to where it traps that person financially, to where when they sabotage the relationship, now that person has to pay for everything that they did. They do this in order to keep control over their victim, but they also do this to set themselves up to look like they are the victim and to get whatever they can get from the victim. And I know that it sounds crazy that a person would want to purposely sabotage their own marriage and relationship, right? But that is what narcissists do. And when you look at our government, they do the same kind of thing. And you're going, how could they want to ruin our country? How could they want to ruin our nation? Well, it's all for personal interest. And because they are so damaged emotionally and spiritually, these types of people, especially malignant type narcissists, are very, very vindictive. They intend to hurt those they claim to love. And I've heard many times, oh, they really don't know what they're doing. They really just don't know why they're doing what they do. They're doing it subconsciously because of all of their past trauma, because of all the things that they've been through, their childhood, their upbringing, whatever the case might be. But that is all a lie. It is nonsense, maybe to a degree, but especially if they're a malignant narcissist, they often know exactly what they're doing because that's what makes them feel powerful and in control. And their whole identity and being is based on that sense of control. The need to always feel in control. It's like an addiction for them. So at whatever cost, whatever they need to do to maintain that control, they will do anything. And so as soon as they feel that someone is taking control away from them, and this is why they're unable to be subservient, they're unable to be submissive to God. They're unable to, especially women who are like this, are unable to submit to their husbands. They cannot submit to an authority other than themselves because they are essentially their own God. So really pay attention to what is going on behind the scenes with a narcissist, because in most cases, what they are doing is planning a manipulative plot. If you're in an intimate relationship with them or a marriage with them, they are planning and scheming behind the scenes to set their life up to move on and to get whatever they can get from you in the process, as well as making it look like you are the villain and they are the victim. So they're also planning their smear campaign as well. I hope this was helpful, and if you've had an experience like this, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Please share anything you've experienced with what the narcissist you know has done behind the scenes. Take care.